Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I'll bring to you probably not the Adepticon video that I am going to make. I plan to cover Adepticon a little bit more at a later time, but right now I think the title is something along the lines of Don't Lose. And I promise that I don't want this to be just straight up clickbait. That's not what I'm going here for. But genuinely, I want to talk a minute about how people check out way too early. Now, this is probably going to be the closest to a coaching video that I do for 40K anytime soon. I'm not, who knows what the future might hold. Maybe I do become a 40K coach and go into that. And this isn't, to knock, this isn't a rip on anybody whose content is like this or anything like that. But genuinely, I want to talk about a little bit how people make themselves lose way too quickly. So Adepticon wrapped up, and would you look at this, uh, Orcs didn't win it. Now, is that to say that Mordaka is perfectly fine, balanced because they didn't win this one? Yes and no. I'll be perfectly honest with you. There's a bit of agenda I got going on here. But why is that? I want to also point out that I don't have any issue with TOs just listening to their community members that, hey, look, the ones that are buying the tickets, if they're like, look, if Mordok is in play, I am not playing it. You know, shout out to that. But I want to talk about a thing that has come up twice in my life, both times working with kids. Once when I was a coach, and once when I was a camp counselor. You might want to debate with whatever board of ethics that this might apply to, but one of the things that you're taught doing those two jobs is that, hey, you don't initiate if people are, or if kids specifically, are hurt or anything. If they fall down, a tumble or whatever, don't immediately jump to, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? What's wrong? This, that, whatever." Because that's when they go, "Wait, I am hurt." And then they cry, and now everybody has paperwork. And it's not just to avoid paperwork, but why do I say this? Well, because to that front, um more of a discussion of banning detachments, not just more DACA, but why I hate this idea and the fact that if you just ban everything that you don't like, um, it's not going to go well. And also, if you, as a TO, if you open up the discussion, nobody in there, most competitive people, right? Not to say nobody, because I'm one of those people that would like a challenge. At the same time, though, it's not looking like I'm getting to tournaments anytime soon. If we're being honest right now, but um, if you were to put out a message and it's like, hey, even if the grand prize is a fucking high five, you ask a lot of people, hey, should I ban the thing that people are saying is really good? People are going to say yes. It's going to make their time easier to win, and that's what people in a tournament usually want to do. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear, that's not to say that people don't go for the vibes and do anything like that, but competitive minded people, if there's something to win, and you tell me that I can have an easier time of doing that because something that is hard to handle is out of the way, yeah, people are going to do that. Looking at some of the older games, and I think this is where I'm getting kind of older in my mentality for some of it. older games, if something was broken, there were no balance patches and anything to fix it. And at the same time, if something was ass, it was ass. For the entirety of that game, it was just done. They put out the game, and it was bad. Thinking about like old Smash Bros. If it was Meta Knight, you knew it was Meta Knight. You knew that your opponent was playing Meta Knight. Guess what? You better figure out how to play Meta Knight. If it was Fox, you better figure out how to play Fox or play against Fox. That's what you know it was going to be. So I come off the back of that ideology where, and I'm sorry if you all don't know like Smash Bros. And that's just like one of the examples, but in fighting games all the time, it's just there's a character that you know is the best one in the roster or was right without changes being made or whatever, and that's how it goes for the entirety of that game until they release the next game. So what does this have to do with 40K? I think I think people are a little too comfy with not being comfortable. Um, that sounds weird, right? I'm not saying that you can't ask for better, but I still go on to the same point of if you just ask GW to nerf everything that's a little bit stronger, you're not going to have anything become stronger, right? You want the rest of the armies to be buffed enough in meaningful ways that it's interesting. If orcs are sustained hits too, right? We're going more DACA again for this. They're sustained hits too, but you know that it's funny because the whole orc thing is that they in shooting hit on fives and sixes. Yeah, guess what? That should be funny and mathematically, and their glass cannon where you are able to lift orc bodies because they have 5 up saves. Things like that. That's where the trade-offs come in. Um, but at the same time, when it happens and it's like and they spike with the unit. That's the idea and why the design there is funny enough, right? Um, but why do I still have Adepticon up? Because mind you, if we're going to say, yeah, the orcs, nothing happened with them. Nothing happened with the orcs, but guess what? When you take a second to figure out what to do versus them, because it's been, what, 2, 3 weeks? If that, you learn. And I'm pretty sure you can see going through some of these names and the matchups, they fought more DACA. And that's the other thing where I don't like how inflated something gets because people go, oh, that's good. So everybody plays it. And if 90% of the population is playing it, yeah, I bet it's going to win some things. I would fucking hope so. But, comparing that to more to Rocky Mountain Open that just happened, yeah, you had Orcs first, second, third. Then you have Tyrannage fourth, Space Marines, Custodes, Chaos Demons. And to that point, I want to point out something that's even funnier. Um, if we're going to talk about like placings and things of that nature, we have Orcs on Rocky Mountain Open, first, second, third. So that's 3 of the top 8. Cool. But you also have Chaos Demons at 2 of the top 8. You go over here. Let's talk about the top 8. One there. 3 Chaos Demons for the top 8. Then you extend that to top 16. We add 2 more orcs, 3 more orcs. There you go. And then if you go to top 32, we're still scrolling. Yeah, we're still scrolling for Adepticon, right? So you go on to find out that yeah, people when you give shit a second and figure out what the fuck you're going to do, you figure out what to do. Rocky Mountain Open, it was fresh. Everybody's trying to figure out what is going on in the meta. What the only thing they know is that there's going to be a lot of sustained hits to orcs, and people know that they want to try the sustained hit to orcs. That's cool, whatever. But past that, you have to figure out your game plan, right? And it looks like Adepticon, people finally figured it out, and it happened very quickly. So, what I will be sad to see is if GW immediately does what they did to Star Shadow, where we're looking at a detachment and hot fixing way too quickly. Way too quickly. You have to figure out what's wrong and what to do to it. Because again, we're talking about orcs. Anytime you include stealth into this situation or just -1 to hit from some source, make it so that the orcs are -1 to hit some type of way, your units get stealth some type of way. Now, I must also say, yeah, I have the ability to make my Tyranids have that more willingly with something like Venom Throats, but and some things have stealth, like Von Rhine's Leapers, that one of my faves, right? So, there's that. But hey, why don't we go back to making sure that you have steps to it? If you ask somebody, hey, can you figure out a countermeasure to it? It's not really beneficial to anybody to say no. It has no counterplay. It's upsetting, but it's whatever. Um, yeah, because nobody's going to try, and I don't like seeing nobody try. And even further, going to the whole why I was talking about the don't lose thing, I noticed that I I want to say it's with Pariah. Now I know that that's not the answer. Maybe I was just more uh rose tinted glasses, more you know hopefully eyed in Leviathan, but with Pariah Nexus, I don't know what's going on, but I'm seeing a lot of people check out immediately, like immediately. So that's why I really wanted to title it like, "Hey, don't lose immediately." I think sure we'll go with that. Maybe who knows? We'll see what future me makes the title. But when you have the mentality like, all right, I'm going to lose. It's whatever. Yeah, you're probably going to lose. You're probably going to lose, right? Um, and let's be honest with ourselves. It'll be tough if you tell me, hey, your next opponent for 40K is anybody on Art of War, Stat Check, Vanguard Tactics, whatever have you, right? I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is probably going to be a quick game. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but at the same time, maybe we all get an early lunch. Then maybe we go for that. But is that to say that those are times where when do you throw in the towel and you just call it over? Nah, no, because you can get a free coaching lesson out of it too. But past that, who knows what happens? Maybe my opponent stubs their toe before the game, and they're thinking the entire time, "Man, my toe hurts." They can't figure out anything past how badly they stubbed their toe. Would it be the most amazing win of my life to say that I took down, you know, the winner of Adepticon because they stubbed their toe earlier that day? No, no, it wouldn't be. But at the same time, uh, that's what the result on paper says, right? So you never know what can happen. I think it's not not wise to have a defeatist mentality. That's what I really want to get at here. I don't like the defeatist mentality where you've lost already. And a lot of things go to, man, I can't beat this. And then it gets kind of reflected in the stats a little bit. It really does, because a lot of people go, man, there's no way to beat this thing that is decent enough right now. There's no way to do it. So then you don't. But if you go, hey, I've figured out what I know is going to be at the tournament, and I've made my choice for that to not be the case, there you go. And especially if you're playing an army that didn't really receive a lot of love on the balanced data slate or the MFM. If you're playing one of those armies, you might as well try to make a list that is more or less tailored to it. Now, I'm not saying that you have looked at your first opponent and you know, all right, if they have 3 units of tank busters, I'm bringing 3 units of tank buster busters. Like, whatever your counter is on that one. But at the same time, you know that there might be a lot of orcs shooting at this event. I suggest you find a way to deal with that. If you know there's going to be a lot of Yanari at the event, I think you figure out a way to deal with that. I don't think you just roll over and play dead and say, "No, please ban more DACA next tournament, or else I'm never playing again." Like, who's that fun for? Who is that fun for? What if you're the one to stumble upon the counterplay to more DACA? I'll be honest, and that's the other thing that I find fun. I know not everybody has the same idea of fun, and you can't standardize that. But it's interesting to see what things end up doing well. Again, Steel Theory, and I haven't interviewed a League of Votan player to see if this is the case, but last go around with Legion of Excess, looking at it, Votan apparently beat the brakes off of Legion of Excess. And that's pre buff right now, so it's no reason for you to sit here and never try something because what if your army turns out to be the meta killer? You never know. So I think that's another thing that people deprive themselves of when they just go, all right, it's better to get rid of the thing that's possibly strong right now, and I can't figure out what's going on because I've told myself that I'm just going to ban it immediately. So I don't know. I think that bans are immediately, and I guess I should even give more reference because if you do know Smash, you do know that there were events that Meta Knight, Fox, or whoever else in his time were banned. You do know that Bayonetta banned. I'm not going to act like the fighting game community has never done that either. Um, but at the same time, do you just make it so that a character is never playable because it's never going to be fixed? And how do you help it get fixed? Do you just hope that GW just knows off of immediate, you know, just immediate community reaction, right? Because obviously, if they thought it was a problem, they wouldn't have released it. So I think they give enough credit to themselves that, this sounds strong, but they hit on fives. They hit on sixes and fives, or fives and sixes. It should be fine. And if you crunch numbers, it should be fine. Like there's enough counterplay that it should be fine. Then you have something like Yanari. Technically, you're looking at it, and once you understand the rules, you should go. All right, I should probably not like shoot unless I can lift two or three things. And I guess that's the final point I'll make here. Um, change your game plan. Change your game plan, and sometimes change the fucking list. Change your fucking list. Um, I can't say that every unit that I've put on the table has done wonders for me, and in fact, there's some that I just know that they have not. Right? But every now and again, there's a unit that surprises me for a task that I did not think they were suited for. So, don't make it so that you don't have the option to have any surprises. That's not helpful for you or for anybody really. And then at the end of the day, what's going to happen, what I'm assuming is going to happen now, because who knows who this video reaches, but I'm not going to bet too highly on it reaching, who I imagine I needed to reach, right? But to that point, if Mordaka just gets turbo nerfed because GW has really been liking triple tapping detachments and shit lately. I really hate this heavy-handed approach to balance that's going on. We're going to buff kind of fucking nothing. We're going to release something new and pretty good, arguably good, demonstrably good. And then we're going to triple tap it with points nerf, rules nerf, model range nerf, and then say, all right, you had your fun for 2 days. Good luck. I don't know what the hell is going on with that, but I don't know. Let's stop. I don't know. Everybody's more reactionary now, and I'm not saying you can't react, but I think it's a little bit much right now. So yeah, I just wanted to show really. You see, it didn't happen at Adepticon. If we're talking about things being up there, Chaos Demons, mind you, this fucking Chaos Demons list, scintillating Legion. All right, that's insane. The Zinch one that everybody's like, this is ass. Uh, I'd still say it has some ass to it, but I did make a video talking about how I think it has play, and as we can see, it has play. But if we want to talk about things having just being result based, there's several different Chaos Demon things doing work compared to just one Orcs detachment. And this is just the weekend previously, right? I had this up, and I was going to talk about some stat things, but right here is kind of the funny thing. These are low played detachments, but of the games played, good win rate. Some of them, like I know this one is literally one person. Warrior Bioform Onslaught. I know that was one person at, I'm pretty sure, the Rocky Mountain Open. Went 4-2, if I remember correctly. Well, does it's 6 inch play and 67%. But you find yourself doing some funky things with some funky things. So let's not deprive ourselves of having the option to play with some funky things and to some good things. Like, I don't think everything just needs to be jank as hell to get some value out of it. But yeah, you know, I'll leave it there. I'll actually finally shut up now. So, hey, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.